Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios. Today we're going to talk about 4 hard truths about modern relationships. Modern relationships are garbage, for men anyway. Modern society tries to convince men through its culture to engage in relationships that absolutely disfavour them. Here is what society condones as acceptable relationships for men. Having a monogamous girlfriend, entering into a traditional monogamous marriage. Both of these are trash for men, but amazing for women. Guess what? Getting into either of these relationship styles will absolutely lead to your misery in the future. Ask me how I know. Anyway, here's why. Enjoying my content? Check out my blog at heliosblog.com. On YouTube, you can support me by liking and subscribing. I'm also on Spotify if you'd prefer a podcast. If you're interested in my books, The Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By, they're available on Amazon. In addition, you can follow me on Patreon at the Helios blog for exclusive content. On with the show. Biological differences in sex drives. On average, women have a lower sex drive than men. Ask any scientist who knows biology and they'll tell you that. Guess what that means? On average, men are dissatisfied sexually in a monogamous relationship. But Helios, my girlfriend is breaking my dick off for having so much sex. Yeah, for now. All relationships in the honeymoon phase have dick-breaking sex, at least all of the relationships that are worth being in. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when the honeymoon phase is done. By the way, the honeymoon phase can last anywhere between 3 months and 3 years, but no longer. Mark my words, when the honeymoon phase is done, there is not one male out there in a monogamous relationship that's 100% sexually satisfied. Men may lie and say that their girlfriend is amazing in bed or whatever, but I guarantee she's denying him sex on a regular basis. Ask him behind closed doors away from prying ears and see what he says. The truth hurts, but life simply is how it is. Because of betaization, sex slows down over time or drops to near zero in monogamous relationships. Ask any married man how much sex he's having after 3 years of marriage. I guarantee you it's not a lot. This is doubly or triply true if he already has kids. The normal response for men to this is twofold. They could either grit their teeth and bear it, or they could cheat. What if I told you there's a better way? And there most certainly is. It's called non-monogamy. This is in complete contrast to women in relationships. Let me mention this as well. In monogamous relationships, women have the sex drive satisfied. They have the guaranteed commitment of one guy who they see as a superior match, and so their hypergamy is satisfied. They also have all the sex they desire, as the sex drive is lower, and most men can satisfy that drive. And this brings me to the second hard truth. Frame weakness due to lack of sexual options. Women that have you in a monogamous relationship have you in a precarious position. They have sole control over your ability to have sex. Men on average have a higher sex drive than women. This means that on average she'll deny you sex in a monogamous arrangement. We know that women are cyclical. She'll not always want sex as you do. And here's the key. Once she knows that you need sex and you're only getting it from her, she's going to start pushing on your frame because she knows she can. Those with power use that power. She's going to start demanding things she would never have demanded when she knew you could easily walk away. Of course, a man can't easily walk away from constant access to sex. You never want to put yourself in a position where your access to sex is threatened if you don't listen to the orders or demands of another person. But that is exactly the position you put yourself in when you get into any kind of monogamous arrangement. Over time, you begin to do things that you consider to be demeaning, whatever they may be, and you do these things just because you know that your girl could deny you sex if you don't comply. Some might say that you should argue and correct your girl's behavior if she starts to push on your frame. Personally, I hate argument even more than I hate sexual denial. I absolutely hate being forced to argue with a woman because I know that if I let her push on my frame a certain way, she'll lose sexual attraction to me and my entire access to sex. There is a better strategy than this, and that is holding the power to always walk away. If you hold multiple women as options, the second you see her pushing on your frame in a rude way, you can excuse yourself from the situation and ghost her for a week. She'll correct her behavior, trust me. It's very hard to walk away from a monogamous relationship, and this goes triple for a marriage. It's easy to walk away from a friends with benefits or non-monogamous girlfriend. Your other options are right in front of you, easily accessed the second you walk away. Never let yourself be monogamous, or you'll quickly find yourself as just another beta slave. And guess what happens when you're her beta slave? You're done. She'll replace you with you, the guy she fell in lust with originally. Some women let themselves go physically when they know they have you. I'm sure many of you have encountered this. You get into a relationship with a beautiful girl, you go through life's ups and downs together, and you can't see yourself with anyone else. Suddenly, your partner has gained 50 pounds and now you're just not sexually attracted to her anymore. They don't want to leave you, they still love you, but they're ugly now, and you just hate it, because if they were just a little lighter, you'd be fine. There are many excuses, to which I reply, calories in versus calories out. Also, it really upsets me that some women do this. No one will tell you the real truth, and here it is. They do it because they got comfortable. They knew they had you, and they thought that they could get away with it. Imagine the same scenario in a marriage. If a girl gets comfortable and refuses to sleep with you in a marriage, you're screwed. If you leave, you have to pay alimony and child support to a land whale. Alternatively, you could stay and never have sex again. Amazing choices. I have no idea why people get married monogamously. It's stupid. Anyway, when a girl thinks she has you, and believe me, she knows she has you when you're traditionally monogamously married, she starts to feel like she can do anything. Believe me, with the power of the government behind her, she can. You have no recourse at this point. If you decide to get traditionally monogamously married, you're done. With traditional monogamous marriage, you've just signed yourself up for a life of misery, pain, and constant stupid arguments over dumb things that you can't say no to, as your sexual access and money is held at threat point. If you truly had a choice, would you really be with a 400-pound woman? Really? Knowing that with agency it could be changed? I know my answer, and I think you know yours too. Oh, another thing. The way laws are now, if you live with a girl for 24 months, you're considered married in some places. Are you sure you want that? Divorce, alimony, and child support. If you ever get married traditionally to a girl, she automatically holds huge power over you. This is because of the institution of divorce. When a marriage breaks, the girl is entitled to half your stuff, even if you made more money than her, even if she was the reason the marriage ended. She is entitled to have money be paid to her so that she can maintain the same lifestyle she had before she was divorced. You think you received this? Any kids? They also need to be paid for. Needless to say, many men become destitute after divorce. They have no money, as multiple income streams are redirected from them to the women that they stupidly married traditionally, no prenup. If you agree to a marriage, you sign your life on the dotted line. From that point on, you're yoked to that woman, forced to pull her ox cart forever, or at least for around 20 years, a cool quarter of the human lifespan. Even when she leaves you and sleeps with some other guy, and believe me, she will, all humans get bored eventually, you're still pulling her ox cart. You want to be a slave forever? Sign on the dotted line. Many men are rudderless and believe that only marriage and children can give their lives meaning, and the marriage they need to have has to be exactly the one their parents had, no exceptions. Obviously, this is stupid, but it doesn't stop the average NPC from making that decision. Ultimately, I can't do anything to force your hand, but I'm telling you not to get married. Any intelligent man wanting to get married when these ridiculous laws are against them is either willfully ignorant or lacks a sense of self-preservation. It's fitting that the act of getting on one knee is the ritual for marriage. A man has to prostrate himself before his new god, forever. Conclusion. To recap, the relationships that we're taught to participate in are praised for are the following, both of which are terrible for men: having a monogamous girlfriend or entering into a traditional monogamous marriage. Traditional relationships are terrible for multiple reasons, mostly stemming from a lack of options and the disrespect that generates in the woman. I hope that this article has imposed upon you some truths about why the traditionally touted modern relationships are to be avoided at all costs. Ultimately, it's upon our shoulders to make better decisions for ourselves and our future. Life is not fair. Deal with it.